Yo, YouTube, what's going on? It's your boy Cray, and in today's video, I am bringing you all the ultimate beginner's guide to Apex Legends in 2021. Okay, now in this guide, you guys will learn what Apex Legends is. You guys will learn what it's all about. I'll give you guys some character breakdowns, weapon breakdowns, map breakdowns, the whole shebang. Okay, I will also have timestamps down below in the description. So if you guys want to hop around a little bit, feel free to do so. All right, now I will preface this by saying this is not just for beginners. Just because it's labeled a beginner guide, it isn't just for beginners. It's for whoever wants to brush up on their Apex Legends knowledge, or whoever may have taken a hiatus from Apex and wants to get back in, you know, and kind of knock the rust off. This is for you guys as well, okay? It's just titled Beginner's Guide because SEO. I mean, come on now, come on. Okay, so intro out the way, let's go ahead and dive right in. First things first, let's talk about what is Apex Legends, all right? First things first, it takes place in the Titanfall universe. We all know what Titanfall is, or at least we should. Okay, Titanfall 1 was an exclusive on, I believe, the 360 or the 1. Can't quite recall. And Titanfall 2 actually opened up to the PlayStation and, of course, PC as well. So we should all be well versed with Titanfall, at least to a degree, right? Okay, cool. It's a BR. Oh my gosh, it's a battle royale. I didn't know that. You guys knew that. Come on now. I'm just trying to cross my T's and dot my I's here, all right? You can drop in the trios mode, which is 20 teams of 3, or the duos mode, which is 30 teams of 2. There's also a ranked playlist, right? We can talk about ranked at a later time, but ranked is trios only. Just keep that in mind, okay? And the objective, of course, is to wipe out the other 19 teams in trios or the other 29 teams in duos and get that victory royale, or whatever you want to call it. Become the Apex champion. Forgot, this isn't Fortnite. Forgive me for that, okay? So now that we know what Apex is about, let's talk about the characters a bit. All right, so talking about the characters here, also known as the Apex Legends, all right? They ain't just characters in this game, they Apex Legends, all right? And as of right now in the game, we have 16 Apex Legends, which is crazy to think about, because when the game first dropped, we just had these 6 right here. Right, we've added 10 new legends, or not us, but Respawn has added 10 new legends since the game's conception, right? And as of right now, halfway through season 8 in the year 2021, this is what we're looking like, right? And it seems like every single season they add in a new legend, all right? At least that's been the trend up until now, so I would assume it would stay that way, right? And every single season lasts maybe about 2.5 months or so, give or take, just depending upon the time frame. And yeah, that's kind of how Respawn works it. So diving in real brief. All right, I would do more in-depth character breakdowns at a later time. But I mean, I'm sure if you're watching this video, you have an idea of who some of these legends are, so no need for me to touch on them for too long. So we have Bloodhound, who is a technological tracker, can scan for enemies, great for recon, hit survey beacons, right? Gibraltar, the shielded fortress, great for getting you out of sticky situations, great for rotations. The dome saves you, and his ultimate, the defensive bombardment, can lay down a lot of DPS or get you out of funky situations as well. Lifeline, the combat medic, great for clutch situations. When she's the only one alive, she could res her teammates with her drone and still stay in the fight. And also, she's the only legend that can heal your actual flesh wounds with her drone. So pretty useful, pretty useful. We got the homie Pathfinder, aka the robot Spider-Man, right? Can fly around the map with his zip line, with his grapple hook, really good for rotating, and also can hit those survey beacons as well. The OG Wraith, okay, homegirl Wraith, right? She can go ahead and switch between dimensions at her own will. She can use it to get out of sticky situations, and she can use her ultimate to get you guys out of sticky situations as well. She's in a little bit of a weird spot, I will admit, because her hitbox is kind of janky right now, but I know Respawn is working diligently on it, so let's be expecting a Wraith buff sometime soon. Homegirl Bangalore, America's favorite legend, right? Bangalore really hasn't had much change with her since the game release. A couple like ability delays changed up here and there, but Bangalore is probably one of the most multifaceted legends in the game. I'm shocked I even pulled that word out of my brain. Wow, that's crazy. I'm gonna clap for myself. All right, back to it. Bangalore has an ability to get you guys out of sticky situations, to blind the opposition, to, again, cause DPS towards the opposition, again, create separation, give you the ability to rotate, the ability to push, you name it. Bangalore is your woman. She's the truth when it comes to that. Caustic is so annoying. He's a defender, just like Gibraltar. So Backtracking just a little bit, Gibraltar Caustic can take more damage. They have something called Fortified on them, right? That means that they can take 15% less incoming damage versus people like Bloodhound and Bangalore. And then on the flip side, people like, I want to say Wraith. Does Wraith still have low pro? Yep. So Wraith has low profile. I want to say Watson has low profile, and I can't remember who else does. I think they took it off of Lifeline still has low profile. Took it off of Pathfinder. That's right. Low profile just means you take on 5% more incoming damage. So keep that in mind as you select your character. Okay. So again, Caustic is very annoying. He can drop poison, gas traps everywhere. And when you fight him and you run into one of his gas traps, he has the advantage on you. Great for close quarter combat, not really good for open field combat in that regard, especially because he's a big turtle. He'll get punched out real quick, right? Mirage is very fun to play with. The holographic trickster, right? Can go ahead and send clones of himself everywhere, right? So he's great for confusing the opposition, right? Really good for that. And just really fun to play with overall. He's great if you are a fragger and you want to get out of funky situations as well, or create funky situations for the opposition. Go ahead and send his mirages everywhere, use his ult, confuse the crap out of the opposition, and go ahead and get you some knocks. All right. Octane's pick rate has gone through the roof this season because he had a couple changes to his ultimate ability, right? Octane is another one of those crackheads. Does he have low pro? No, he doesn't have low pro. I don't know why I thought he did. But Octane is really good now for rotating, right? Because his jump pad comes back really quick, and it's very, very useful. Just know you are sitting duck when you are in the air. And again, he runs around the map like a crackhead. Really good for you high-tier fraggers, you know what I'm saying? Because you're moving at more of a super speed versus everybody else. And again, you can get in, get out, jump pad out, do what you need to do, and clap some cheeks, all right? Watson, homegirl Watson, the static defender. She needs some love. I will openly admit Watson is supposed to play a little bit more like Caustic in regards to being more viable in the close quarters area because she can drop down her, what do you call it? What's the technical term for them? I can't think. Her perimeter security fences, right? She can drop those down, secure a building, right? But when you're in open field, Watson is kind of a sitting duck, especially with the few nerfs that she now has received. I think she needs a little bit more love, but it is what it is. I'm not a developer. So Watson, I love you. I'm gonna just let you know that you need some more love. Hopefully they take care of you. All right, moving on. Crypto, another recon specialist. He's a surveillance expert, right? Crypto is really good for getting recon info, not necessarily on the fly like Bloodhound, but if you guys are in a very sweaty match, you guys are holding down a building, he's very useful in that regard to figure out where the opposition may be because of his drone, right? He can also drop an EMP strike through his drone and destroy 50 damage, or excuse me, apply 50 damage to the opposition on their shield, right, and stun them for a little bit. So he's kind of useful in that regard. I have not seen a lot of crypto play as of recently because of everybody trying to play fast paced and fast paced. Excuse me, guys, I stutter. Forgive me. But yes, Bloodhound is typically chosen over crypto for the ability to get recon info on the go. Okay, Revenant. Everybody hates Revenant because of his ultimate ability. He can push people across the map with it. When you pair his ultimate ability with Octane, you can literally get a free life, right? You can push people. He's great to play or great to have on your team to push people. He's literally the synthetic nightmare. That's his name, right? So when it comes to pushing people, fantastic, right? Doesn't really have much use in terms of defense, but more so offense, right? Because touching on his ultimate ability really quick here, it basically gives you a free life. He pulls up a death totem, you use it, and you're given pretty much a free life. You push somebody, they kill you or get rid of your health bar, and you respawn back at the totem. Like, I kid you not. Frustrating to play against, but very, very useful on the offense, all right? Homegirl Loba, right? They keep giving Loba love, but I still feel like she doesn't get picked as much as she deserves because even though she's the translocating thief, typically the loot goblins pick Loba, okay? They typically pick Loba and drop down her ultimate ability and snag up all the ammo on the freaking map, right? Loba is very useful in my opinion for that exact reason. If you guys know you guys aren't looters, right? You guys like flying teams, beating teams up, and keep it pushing. then I think Loba is great because you can drop down her ultimate ability, snag ammo, snag heals, and keep it pushing, right? So I think Loba has a place, but you won't really see her used in high tier play, okay? Rampart need love just like Watson. She's technically a defender, but she really isn't utilized in the best ways as of right now. She's really good, again, in close quarters combat. She can lay cover everywhere. Then that big machine gun on her back, known as Sheila. Is it a machine gun or 50 cal? Or I don't know what you would call it. I don't know my guns like that. I'm not gonna lie to you all. But anywho, like, it's very, very, very rare that you can actually utilize her ability properly, right? So again, I think she needs some reworks. We'll talk about that at a later time. Horizon. People love Horizon, introduced in season 7. Okay, and by the way, everybody was introduced in their own season. Octane, I want to say, was season 1, Watson season 2, season 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and of course 8. Okay, Horizon has a high play rate, right? Because she's so useful. She's great for getting out of sticky situations. She's great for avoiding the ultimates of Gibraltar and Bangalore because of her gravitational lift, right? Her ultimate ability is great for pulling people out of cover. You know what I'm saying? It's great for creating a distraction to rotate and get out of there. Horizon is very much so useful. They've given her a couple nerfs, but she still is very, very useful. So Horizon is the truth. If you want somebody to really learn and really rock out with and frag out with and be able to rotate and do all of the above with, Horizon is your legend. And then lastly, Fuse, introduced in season 8, the explosives enthusiast, right? If you like grenades, arc stars, thermite grenades, all that stuff, if that is your thing, Fuse is your guy. I really don't see him having much use outside of throwing grenades and stuff, right? His ultimate ability is cool. Like, it's okay. But again, I think Fuse needs some love. I think the devs know that and they're going to make that happen. And Fuse is supposed to be a fragger as well, right? So those are our, wait, did I say that right? Those are our Apex Legends. Okay, again, I will be breaking these guys down more in depth at a later time. They will all have their own individual video. Okay, now let's move on here and let's talk about the most important part of this video, in my opinion, which is the learning portion. All right, y'all, let's kick off this learning portion the right way. Let's talk about the maps real quick. Okay, so if you are new to Apex, no, there are 3 maps in Apex Legends. All right, only 2 are typically readily available per season, right? And the developers will rotate the maps out every season, right? So this season we have the OG Kings Canyon, and then we also have the new kid on the block, Olympus, right? And I assume next season they're probably going to shuffle out Kings Canyon and bring back in World's Edge, which is the middle child, and just rock out with World's Edge and Olympus back to back. Okay, they typically do that because the map that they don't utilize, they're changing up stuff on the map, altering it based off of player feedback and based off of how they're trying to progress the story. Okay, so again, we have 3 maps. I will throw them on the screen at some point. I think I should. If I'm a good editor, I will. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna throw them on the screen. I'll throw them on the screen. So again, the OG Kings Canyon, right? Cool. You have World's Edge, which is, I guess, everybody's favorite, or it's the one that everybody wants back. I mean, I want it back because I love World's Edge, right? I mean, it's dope. It's a dope map. And then the new kid on the block, Olympus. Okay, now, talking about these maps a little bit, I will give you guys a little bit of information. So Kings Canyon, okay, I will let you guys know that's third-party central because everything is so tight-knit. All the POIs, or the places of interest, are very tight-knit, right? So it's third-party central. Gosh, I'm gripping real hard. Whatever, right? World's Edge is a lot more well-paced, right? So the POIs, even though they're still kind of close, there's enough space in between POIs for there to not be as many third parties. Or if there is a third party that comes and you wipe out that third party, you have an opportunity to kind of gather yourself, get back in position, and be ready for the next fight, or rotate out of there. Do whatever you want to do, right? And then Olympus is literally the opposite of Kings Canyon. It's just so freaking open, right? And I get what Respawn was trying to do. I get what they were trying to do there because they added vehicles called Tridents so you can drive around the map, right? Nobody ever really uses them though, right? They never really use them. They either use a teleporter or they use the zip lines that are everywhere on the map to get around. So if you're caught in open field on Olympus, you're pretty much toast. Like, it is what it is, right? So again, if they balanced Olympus a little bit more, brought some things in a little bit more tight knit, or added a few more places of interest, and with Kings Canyon, if they could find a way to expand it a little bit, then I think we will have 3 high quality maps in that regard. But regardless if we like a map or not. If we want to play Apex Legends, we have to play what's provided to us, right? Respawn is going to throw maps at us, and whether we like it or not, we got to rock out on it, you know? So take the time to learn these maps. Learn which places of interest have a lot of verticality. Learn what don't. Learn your dropping spot. Learn what kind of teams drop at certain places. There are a lot more passive teams that drop on the further ends of the map versus in the nucleus of the map. I couldn't think of a word, so we're pulling that one. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, you're going to face a lot more of your scrappy fraggers in the nucleus of the map versus on the outside. You know what I'm saying? So there are some people that like to drop on the outside of the map and work their way in, and vice versa. Some people like to drop on the inside, beat up everybody, and then look around and says, who's next? Where can we go? And start to work themselves out to the outer rims of the map or wherever the circle is pulling, you know? So again, just take mental note, really learn the maps, learn where loot spawns, learn just anything and everything you can about the maps in Apex Legends, and you'll be good to go. All right, guys, now let's talk about the meat and the potatoes of Apex Legends, the guns. Let's talk about learning the guns here, okay? Now, for the sake of me not making this video too long and making this video an hour long, because you guys don't have time like that, and I have ADHD, so I don't think I could focus that long, okay? We're just gonna talk about a few guns here, right? And I'll show off one of my favorites, right? The R99, classic, right? You have to learn the guns first and foremost, right? RE45, P2020, R301, R9, alternator, G7, and the list goes on, right? The most important thing to learn about guns is the recoil pattern, okay? And I say recoil pattern with no attachments. So you can pick up these attachments and it makes aiming a lot easier, whether if you're on controller or keyboard and mouse. You have to figure this out. Now, I recently switched to keyboard and mouse, so it's a little bit easier for me to recoil control, but my controller players, you guys need to practice this a butt ton, all right? So I'll show you guys an example, right? So I'm shooting the R99, no recoil control. I'm gonna shoot at this dummy right here. You see that thing kicks like a bat out of HE double hockey stick, right? It has a vertical recoil, then it slightly strays to the right, then to the left, yada, 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 right? So what I have to do, if I'm on controller, I'm pulling down on my right analog stick a little bit. And if I'm on keyboard and mouse, I'm pulling down on my mouse a little bit to try to combat that and control it. But as you guys can see, and I'm gonna say, look, man, I just jumped into training range, dog. I ain't even played a day, right? So my recoil control ain't all that right now. But the fact of the matter is, you guys see how that thing kicked on me like no other? Like, I was able to pull down on it, but when it started to sway left and right, how I couldn't control it, that's something that you guys have to take the time to learn how to control, right? The more accurate you can be with something like the R99 or the Volt, which is an energy weapon SMG. The R301 has very little recoil, and I will show you guys that here shortly. But learning something like the R99 can be pivotal, right? So you have to learn recoil control so you can be able to one-clip people without having an extended magazine, right? Now, let me show you guys how the R301 works, okay? The R301 is a lot more controlled, has a slower fire rate, but it can slap, right? So again, no recoil control here. You guys see it has a little bit of a vertical recoil, and then it starts to work horizontally, right? Right, and then left, yada, yada, yada. So it's just a simple pull down. Wow. My recoil control is actually dog water right now, son. But it's just a simple pull down, right, and start counterbalancing that horizontal recoil. And the R301 is deadly. It is actually meta AF right now, okay? This is actually my loadout. Whenever I get an R9 R301, they call it the R4, right? Because 99 plus 301 is 400. Haha, mathematician. But this is probably my favorite loadout right here. I feel like I can push anybody with this loadout and have a great chance of survival, especially when I'm playing Bloodhound. I know where they're positioned. I feel like I can get busy with this loadout, okay? So again, learning recoil control of every gun. And I encourage you all to come into training range, pick up guns you never pick up, like the RE45, and try to counterbalance that thing, you know? Because the recoil for this thing is ugly. It goes up slightly vertically and then starts to peel off to the right, you know? So if you learn how to recoil control with this thing right here, man, you could pick up any weapon on the floor, put down a few knocks before you find your R9 or R301 and keep the game rolling rather than getting sent back to the lobby and having to requeue. So again, pick up every gun, over here, over there, over there, over there, and learn recoil control. I encourage you to do that, and it will make your gameplay so much more efficient long term. Once you've perfected your recoil control from an ADS standpoint, I encourage you guys to learn how to hip fire. Hip firing in Apex Legends is legendary. No pun intended. I'm serious. Once I've learned how to hip fire, I make some of the craziest plays that I have no business making, right? None. Okay, let me show you guys the power of hip firing, right? So I can ADS this right here, and I can one clip that person, right? And I can hip fire right here, and I can still almost one clip that person. Now again, my recoil control wasn't the best right there, but I can still one clip somebody from a hip fire. I still can't. I missed one bullet. All right, whatever. You guys know what I'm saying there. But hip fire recoil, what the heck? Hip fire recoil control is big, right? And it's all about reticule placement, you know? So again, if I'm on controller or keyboard and mouse, I'm placing my reticule right there at shoulder level, right? Because this gives me the opportunity to line up the most accurate hip fire shots that I possibly can. You see what I'm saying? If you allow your reticule to drop down here to waistline, some bullets are going to go between their legs. And you guys also got to remember, this enemy isn't going to be just standing still. They're going to be strafing, yada, yada, yada. It's a lot easier for you to keep your reticule right here and maybe have some recoil kick up and land a few critical shots there as well, right? So as you guys know, the R9 is great from a hip fire. The R301 is legendary from a hip fire. Same thing with the flatline and with the alternator as well, right? And I'm gonna show you guys exactly why. I'm gonna pick up the flatline. This is probably my second favorite weapon in the game, right? So I got the flatline. As you guys see, the crosshairs have, I bit my tongue there. The crosshairs have changed a bit, right? So the R9 crosshairs were your standard, right? The standard plus model. Boom. Like I'm about to do a Naruto shadow clone jutsu. It's like that, right? If you see this type of crosshair, it's like a less than and greater than sign with a dot in the middle. This means this gun is made for hip firing. The alternator has this crosshair as well. And it's so easy to line up hip fire shots with this thing. Like, you rarely should ADS with this thing unless you are too far away. Then you can ADS with it. But hip firing, the flatline, it speaks for itself, right? I did nothing special there. Nothing special there at all. I just kept that middle dot on the opposition. And they're dead. They're done. Dunzo. Same thing with the alternator again. Learn how to control that recoil from a hip fire standpoint, just like you learn from an ADS standpoint, and you will become that guy or that gal or that person. You will be the person that everybody wants to play with because you've beaten everybody up. It's that simple. It's that simple. And then my last tip in regards to learning guns, learning weapons in an entirety, is find out what guns you're best with, right? Apex is a unique game because everybody's good with different things, right? I'm good with the flatline, the R301, R99, like those three weapons. And okay, I can rock out with the alternator as well, right? Those three weapons are my jam, okay? Or 4 weapons. I can't count, y'all. But you guys know what I'm saying. Those are my jam. I can't get busy with the Volt. The Volt is one of the craziest weapons in the game as well. Like, the Volt rips, right? And it has very low damage fall off. So people typically rock it over something like an R99, right? But for some reason, I just can't get busy with it. Whenever I pick one up in game and I'm straight fighting somebody right here, like, I only land like maybe, like, I might crack their armor, you know, or I get a crack, but I can't one clip people like the way I can with the R99. And that's just my own personal preference. Maybe I need to practice it more. I probably do, in all honesty. But the thing is, I'm like, I will pick up an R99 any day over the Volt because of where I'm at. That's just how I'm comfortable, right? It's no different than being an NBA superstar and you're only good in the paint, right? Or you're only good from a mid-range pull-up, but you can't shoot threes to save your life. You might practice shooting threes all day long, but the fact of the matter is you'll never be an amazing three-point shooter like Steph Curry or like Ray Allen was. You know what I'm saying? You might become better. You might become like LeBron tier from behind the arc, but the fact of the matter is, you know, your bread and butter is in the paint. It's getting those layups. It's getting those dunks, right? It's pulling up from the free throw line. You know what I'm saying? So again, I'm not saying don't work on the weapons you're weak with. Work on them, but also don't neglect the weapons you're good with, because those weapons, Those weapons will be the one to carry you to the frickin' victory royale. Well, not victory royale, frick, that's Fortnite. It will carry you to becoming the Apex champion. Okay? Cool. There we go, there's my thumb. And ladies and gentlemen, the last tip that I wanna give you all before concluding this video is this very thing right here. Learn from every single situation, whether if it's a win or a loss, okay? Don't blame it on, oh man, I just got third party. Oh, that's a controller player. Oh, blah, 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 blah. Don't blame it on that, right? Think about every situation you lose or win and think about, man, why did I win that situation? You know, what did the opposition do wrong there? You know, I should have lost. What did they do wrong? Or if you lost a situation, man, yo, I know we got third party for the third time in a row, but how could I have played that situation better? Maybe I spent too much time looting. Maybe I could have just got off a quick armor swap, right? I could have swapped to a blue and I was wearing a broken purple armor. You know what I'm saying? Think about situations that you could have played better in, right? Because the fact of the matter is, if you are always pointing fingers at your teammates, if you're always pointing fingers at the third party, at the map design, at the gun not doing what you wanted to do, at the servers, you'll never improve, right? With that mindset, you won't. Only control what you can control, right? And that's yourself. That's your decision making. That's your gun skill. That's all of the above in that regard, right? So again, learn from every situation. How could I have won that situation? Why did I win that situation? Was it just skill? Was it luck? Did they do something wrong? Did I do something wrong? If you approach it with that mindset, you will have no choice but to improve in Apex Legends. And the last thing I will say is have fun. Have fun playing this game, all right? This game is fun when you don't take it serious. I know some of you guys are gonna try to grind all the way up to Masters or even Predator, right? And that's fine, but have fun as you do it. Don't take the game too serious, because when you do, it starts to become a chore and you lose the passion for the game. I'm talking from experience because I made that mistake before about 6 months ago. I was trying to grind to Masters and got to maybe like, I think I got to mid-plat or something along the lines of that, and just was disgusted with the game because, oh, I gotta get there, right? But now that I'm back and I'm playing it in a much more casual setting, I'm playing better than I've ever played before in my life. I'm having a blast, and Apex is the game that I'm loving right now. So again, I encourage you all to do that. It's been your boy Cray. I'm signing off. I hope you guys learned something from this video. Comment down below if you did. Comment Comment down below if you guys have any more informative tips that I did not share in this video, because let's help each other. Why not, right? Again, I'm signing off. I'll catch you all in the next one. Until then, we are out. Peace.